So today, I just wanted to show you my daily routine of what I do when I wake up in the morning and the sun's out. So this one is on and this one stays on all the time, but the solar's on that one, but not the inverter's not turned on. Same thing on this one. So all I do is I turn this on and I turn the switch on down here. It goes on so you can see the inverter's on, and then I just put it on watts. And same thing up here. So I run all four of these inverters during the day, but usually only those two, and every once in a while I'll switch it up to just these two right here. So these two right here are brand new. No, I'm sorry, this one and this one are brand new, and these were refurbished. So I picked the refurbished ones up. I think it was about $200 cheaper to get the refurbished over the new, but I haven't noticed a difference on either of them. They've all been working flawlessly. I've had no problems whatsoever running this system since I connected it before summer. And excuse me. I love the system. It's just plug and play. So no faults. The only time I had any fault light come on was on this one and this one. I was running both the upstairs 3.5 ton and the downstairs 4 ton at the same time. And the upstairs is a 3.5 ton that uses around 3,000 watts. And the downstairs is a 4 ton and it uses around 4,000 watts. And you only have 6,000 watts output when you have two of these on. So it was giving me a fault. I think it was on this one. I think it was giving me a fault on this one for some reason instead of, I just had this one and this one on. So that was only giving me 6,000. But it kept my air conditioners running, and all it did was drew from my battery bank over here. And as soon as I saw it, I just flipped the switches on like I did, and the red fault went away. I can't remember what code it was. I think it was over voltage or something like that. I'm not sure. But that was my mistake. I didn't turn all four on because I need that. And that's the reason why I got 4 of them on the wall, is so that I could run my 3.5 ton and my 4 ton at the same time. And I've already tried running my 12.7 ton pool heat pump electric pool heater, and I've had no problems running it. But I have to have all 4 of them on because it uses like 7,500 watts. So I need to have all 4 of those on. So far so good, not having any problems. I've already taken this one off, and I have not run this one in like 4 or 5 days. I'm not even, the battery's charged at 100% down there, and I'm not even going to really mess with that anymore. So I really don't even need either one of these. I'm gonna leave them on the wall for right now as a backup, because I can easily reconfigure my panels. Now this is 500 volt solar panel input, and these are only 150 volt solar panel input. So I can't just take my solar input from there and put it over on either one of these. I have to reconfigure it and drop it down below 150 volts. And my used poly panels are like 37.1 volts on those, so I can easily put 4 of those in series and then 4 in series in parallel and do them that way. And whatever I have, I think I had over on this one, my 24 out there, I had 6 sets of 4 in series and then parallel them all together to keep them below 150. And I was running that for like a year on that. Now, those are actually 12 in series and 12 in series, and they're actually connected. Oh, this one right here. So it's connected to this one right here. Even though we have 6,000 watts, 12,000 watts in series, 250 watt panels, 12 250 watt panels. We got 3,000 watts for that, and then 3,000 watts for the other one. So it's a total of 6 kilowatt on there, and I've had no problem with that. Even though it says 5265 or something in the example in the owner's manual for connecting the solar panels, I put it at that, and I've had no problems whatsoever. So these are by far my favorite off-grid inverters. They are all set up in parallel, and I have them all running to my I have a 200 service amp breaker on the top there on this main panel, and then it runs everything inside of here. The only thing that I run on this one over here was this, but I'm going to end up I have it, the wire for that is right here, and it goes up into there, and it's this one right here, this breaker. So that uses like 2,600 watts on that 230 volt, 18,000 BTU. Eventually, I'm just gonna run that right over into this one, all hardwired into this box, and I got plenty of breakers in there. So I'll have everything on these all four right here. And right now, I run a 5 cubic foot, 5 cubic foot. I think it's like a 22 or 20 cubic foot. This is an 11 cubic foot freezer that we have right there. And then over here we have a 7 cubic foot. And we run those 24 hours a day off of those four over there. And then we have a dishwasher. We have a washer, like an 8 cubic foot washer. And we just added this 1 cubic foot washer. They had, it's, you could do intimates and hand wash on this. And it's only goes up to 600 RPMs on the drain, which is more than enough. I think this one does 1,200 on the Electrolux. But I picked this up for 70 bucks. It was normally $800. It was in the box. Still had the straps on it. Never used. It was just extra stock. And then we have the heat pump dryer that we run clothes in here. And like I said, this dishwasher here for, we're hosting Thanksgiving, so we'll need an extra dishwasher. And then we have just a storage down there that we're gonna put our chemicals in for that. So we run a lot, and we also run our pool at 1,400 RPMs 24 hours a day as well. So just wanted to show you how easy it is to run these things. They are so reliable. I've had, like I said, no problems with them whatsoever. You just have to make sure that when you're bringing in the solar, that you're not bringing in more than like 18 or 20 amps off your solar panels in your solar array configuration. This will take a high amount of voltage in here, but it's low, I'm sorry, a high amount of amps. I believe this thing's set up to where you can bring in like 160 or 180 amps off of your solar, and I've had it up to like 168. So that'll bring in a lot of amps off of that thing. And I even had the EG4 charge controller, 100 amp charge controller running on that, connected to my battery bank and everything. And that was the only way I could run that 12.7 ton electric pool heat pump, pool heater. But now, with those four right there, I don't have to do that charge controller. I just run it off of these four, and it's a 50 amp breaker in here that I use, and I use a 6 gauge stranded wire. Now my 4-ton is a 30 amp double pole breaker, so that's a 50 amp double pole breaker on the heat pump for the pool heater, and then also a 30 amp double pole on my 3.5 ton down here. So I have this, I can use this breaker up here. It's a little overkill for the for that 18,000 BTU, but I can have all this on one system. And I'll show you what else I've been running off of that as well. We also run this mini split that goes all the way down there. It's like 48 feet down to that window. And then we run that mini split that's in this living room that has 18-foot ceiling. So it's like, I think it's like 15 feet wide by 18-foot ceiling by 32 feet maybe. But it's a large open room, and it has 6 big windows. I mean, they're just huge windows, and they let in a lot of heat. And I just use that mini split over there and this mini split over here downstairs sometimes, and that keeps my whole downstairs cool while I'm using that 3.5 ton upstairs, and I have plenty of extra power to run all my other stuff. So then we also have a mini split going up to this bedroom that's a 16-foot head pressure off the ground for this one right here. And then there's that mini split over the door that I showed you. And the one in the living room is this exact same one. It's a premium. Then we have a small little 17,000 BTU pool heater that we can run on that. And then there's that 12.7 ton pool heater that we run to heat our pool. We're not going to run it for November, December. We're just not going to go in it. So I'm not going to spend the effort of heating it. Plus I have to keep the pool cover on. And we actually kind of like looking at the pool without the pool cover, even though we don't go in it. But we had to take these panels off because we overseeded, and in order to get the grass to come in, I'm probably going to have to take 2 more off because I'm just not getting that sun over here to the pavers. It's coming in slow, but it'll come in a week if I just take those other 2 solar panels off. I got the 2 sitting right there. But I got 16, like 270 to 300 watt used mono panels on there that do excellent. And for those 16, I paid less than $450. And they're all kinds of different brands, but they're really close on the watts, and especially the voltage output and the amps output on these. So I just put 8 in a string. I put 8 in a string going down there, and then over here, 8 in a string down there, and right here, I parallel those together on that one. So the positive is paralleled together on this string, goes into positive. The negative right here from both sides goes in, and then I just have the 2 wires, and they go down underneath the ground. These are surprising me because I used to have these on the wall last year, and I was only able to get 2 in between each column. So I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of them, and those down there, the last 2 really didn't get much sun. But even with these are 330 watt used mono panels. I think I paid like $20 or $22 for them. And even with that shade on it from that small tree, the orange tree over there and the lemon tree right here, I can still get, there's 8 panels here in series, 8 panels there in series, and I parallel them together to bring them in. And it's like 5,200 watts, and I can get my 3,000 watt output even with this shade on here. So I'm not really worried about that. Now, in the summertime, there's no shade on there because the sun is like up here instead of way over here. It's like kind of up higher. So there's no shade off of these trees at all. Even though that one's really close over there, there's no shade on it. But I'm really surprised for the amount of money I paid. It was like I said, it was like 22 bucks. So at 20 bucks, that's $160, $160. It was like less than $400 I paid for these. And there's no tax in Arizona on used panels where I buy the panels. So for under $400, I get my 3,000 watt output. I actually went over the 3,000 watt for a little bit. I had no fault code or anything like that. And these in the wintertime, I have some solar panels up here, but they're more or less just used for shade. I really don't need to use any solar panels on here anymore because I'm able to produce enough in my yard with those 4 EG4 3,000 watt off-grid inverters that I don't need to put any solar up here anymore. So I just leave these on here and they keep this nice and shaded here because the sun is directly over this in the summer and it's really hot if you don't have a solar panel up there to block the sun coming through the plastic roofing material. But you know, I built this wooden solar array back here. It's I think it was two 2x4x10s to make the triangle here. And then I have a 2x4x10 here in the middle and down there. And going down there to be able to put 8 of these solar 330 watt mono used solar panels, I think it was right around $150, maybe $160, $65 for the screws and everything. And I bought, just on these, I had just bought some material, the piece of metal that you use between like carpet and tile to transition the two together and hide it. And I just took my Ryobi 18 volt metal cutters and cut those into 1.5 inches, drilled a hole in the middle and put them on there. And looks like they're coming off a little bit, sliding down a little bit on these, so I'll have to go back and tighten them up a little bit more. But those are working really well. That was just a very inexpensive thing that I did, and it was like right around $330 to do this whole 5240 watt solar array. And then over here I have those brand new mono bifacials. You can see the circuitry on the back, and I easily get my 3,000 watt output. There's 10 of those, and they're 400 watt on the front, 100 watt on the back, with a potential of 500 watt total, with the reflection from the ground. And you can see the light reflecting off the ground right here. So I have no problem with that. There's those 24 poly panels that I have. There's 3,000. There's 12 of them in series for 3,000 watts and the other 12 in series for 3,000 watts. And those are my polys. And those work great because they're pretty much in the sun really all day long, and there's no shade around, no trees or anything else to shade it. In the morning, there's a little shade right here. But then it quickly comes off. And even with shade on that one solar panel, I can still get some excellent output. These were just These were just fence posts that I used, and I drove them in the ground with a pool pounder to make this solar array. And then I used wood, the treated lumber, to finish it off. And that was my first attempt kind of at that one on a big array. Those are just the wooden pergolas. And then over here, I'd first started putting 6 solar panels, mono solar panels. These are all the same 6 on this one. And these are the same 3 over here. But these 3 are different. So I have this one. I have these in series and these in series. For 6 in series, they're 250 watts, so that's 1500 watt. And then I have these over here, 6 in series, 6 in series. Those are also 1500 watts. So there's 750 on the 3 of them, 750, that makes your 1500 watts. And that's going into one of those inverters as well. So those work out really well because these are like 37, right around 37 volts on my solar panel voltage input into the inverter each. So those stay under the 500 volt solar panel input. These are damaged frame, used 400 watt, and some of these are bifacial. If you can see my finger through there. They're clear on these. These are a couple years old. So all of these used solar panels that I got are usually at least 5 years old, if not more. They still have a decent amount of life left, but I have 8 of these in series. No, actually, I'm sorry. I have 4 in series and 4 in series, and those are going into my 12 kilowatt grow watt low frequency off-grid inverter that I'm really not using. But I'll tell you what, I only paid 22 bucks a piece for these 400 watt mono panels that are also half of them, 4 of these are bifacial, the other 4 are not bifacial. You can see they got the white backing on them. So, but I got 4 in series and then 4 in series, and I parallel those together to go in there. If I needed to put these on my other one, and what I might do down the road is I might get another 2 of those EG4 3000 watt off-grid yellow inverters, and then I can put this one on one of them, and that's 3200 watt input for those. And then we got these over here, which is 1500 watts and 1500 watts. That would be 3000 watts input. And I could have 6 of those for a total of 18,000 watt output for my off-grid. So not that I really need that much, but it'd be kind of fun to have it all hooked up. Okay? I'd be able to run basically everything in my house in a down-grid situation. I could basically, from my refrigerator in my kitchen, I could just run an extension cord into that thing. And then I'd be able to, I wouldn't do anything where I would do on-grid. Everything that I do is off-grid. And I have to run a line, like right here. I'm running these, the gray one, all those gray ones right there are the electrical going. There's 1, 2, 3 of those. So, oops, no, there's more than that. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3. So in one of those, I have 2. I have this outlet and this outlet. There's 2 10 gauge, 2 wire with a ground going into those through one of them. They go underground there. And So my pool pump plugs into one of those, and both of my mini split 12,000 BTU air conditioners plug into those, and then also that 17,000 BTU pool heater down there plugs into those. And then one of my other ones, I have one of the other lines there I have going into this 4-ton into that, and then I have it going into that 3.5-ton. The 3.5-ton goes into the solar one down there. And then this is actually 3 6-gauge stranded wires in order to run this beast. It's like a huge amount. It's like 186 inrush amps that was starting for the startup amps on this. But I put a soft start on this, and I got it down to like what was it? Maybe like 50 some amps on the soft start. So, but I'm able to start this up no problem with those 4 EG4 3,000 watt inverters. So I could easily just, my refrigerator, there's my stove right there, so my refrigerator's like right here. I could easily run a conduit, put a hole in the wall, run it through, and put an electrical box like this on the inside of the house for an emergency when, if the power were to go out, I could plug my fridge in. And if I really wanted to, I could rewire one of these to run my stove. And then I have a washer, dryer, dishwasher out in the garage. So, but I could actually probably do that. So, but remember, if you're doing off-grid, anytime you want to run anything, you have to run the wire from that electrical panel in the garage all the way around to wherever your stuff is. Like for me, it's 110 feet to get over to here. It's like 100 feet to get over here. So in order to run all this stuff, I have to run a separate wires. There's 3 wires that I run just for that, and it runs through a conduit, this flexible conduit right here. This one goes down, actually it's this one. This one goes down under the ground. They all do, all these wires over here. They go down here through this channel, this water channel right here. They come out right here, and then they run the length of the house. And one of them, I stop right there. You can see I connected right there. I have a junction box. I have a outlet right there to run my lights or whatever I want to run. Ceiling fans are all connected out here for the solar. But then I run my wires over here. I run everything over, and then it goes into the garage and goes into my electrical panel or my inverters. So I'm running my solar and my electrical over there. So pretty. Oh, we got an addition out here. We have this is either refrigerator or freezer. It's a convertible one. It's a Medea. I picked it up for like $100. And so you can either set it as a fridge or a freezer. So I keep my waters and sodas in here. So when I'm doing some dirty, muddy work or something out in the yard, reseeding or overseeding, I don't have to go in the house, and I don't have to dirty it. I can grab a beverage right there. So, and as a bonus, like I said, we overseeded. And in the wintertime, we tried growing stuff out here in the summertime. Just impossible. You got to water it 3 times a day, and it dries out the soil so much that you can't keep the water in the soil. The soil gets hard as these pavers or the concrete. So we grow our garden in the wintertime, and we just have flowers here. This is sage, I believe. This is spinach. This is stevia. It's sugar for keto. And if you take these things, it would taste like you were eating leaves of sugar. I mean, they just really are sweet. Flowers in there. I think this is like squash and zucchini. I think we have some things going in there that's going to take a while to pop up. These are peppers over here. These are sunflowers and flowers. Trying to remember what this is. But this has grown great. This grew through the summer. I transplanted. I took it out of the garden in June and put it in this pot, and it's grown great. Got some flowers and broccoli, I believe here, fennel, and some oregano, beets, and radishes. We have mint here and here in the garden, and it keeps the bugs. The bugs do not like mint. So, and the mint goes underground and spreads. And I believe it's already spreading right here, where the roots are going down in the ground and they come back up. Last year it was all over, it grew all over the garden, and it kept all the bugs out. Didn't have to use any pesticides or anything like that. So, and then we have yellow onions here growing. We've got parsley and stuff. Some more broccolis right there. Got a bunch of stuff growing. It's just starting to come up. We got purple romaine and regular romaine. This is parsley. Those are yellow onions. And we got yellow and purple onions that we're going to be planting. So, and then we're doing leaf lettuce here, there, and there. And then this is also romaine here, and this is more purple romaine right there. And I think this one right here, we grew it last year. It's almost got like a butter taste to it. Really good. But we won't buy any salad stuff from here on out until like May or June is when we tear this out, and then I put solar panels on it for the summer. And then this is, you can see jalapeno peppers over here. And we have a cherry tomato plant right there. Last year, we had one in that pot, and we got close to 1,000 cherry tomatoes off of it. It had like 3 or 4, like this one right here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 plants. Up 3 in here. It's got 3 of these in here. No, it's got 4. There's one back there. So it's got 4 separate plants in it. And we're already getting, oops, I don't know if you can see it through there, but we have tomatoes up in there already. And over here we have, these are pepper. I can't remember. They're just starting to produce flowers. Here they are. Just starting to get flowers on there. So can't remember. I don't think we got anything off of this one last year, but we got a ton of these sweet peppers. They're like right here. Some of them are like sweet colors. The colored one, yellow, green, red. And then some of those are pepperoncinis. So, and you can see over here, we got some more. So those are doing really well. This one is a year-old plant. We took it out of the garden over there in June, and we transplanted it over here, and it grew great. So, this is a time of the year that's, you grow things out in Arizona. Can't grow them from can't grow anything out here from June, July, August, September, usually late October, mid to late October, we start planting all of our stuff. We started out with 6 inches of soil on this raised bed garden, and it was kind of really crappy the first year because we only had 6 inches of soil, and then it hit the sandy soil that we have. so it wasn't the greatest. And then we put the second layer on there, went 12 inches and had like 10 inches of soil, got a little better. Then we added a little bit more, got it up to like 12 to 14 inches, and we did really well. And this year I kind of rotated the soil and I added like 12 1 cubic foot Miracle Grows and kind of cultivated that in. And then I put some ammonium sulfate in there and planted everything. And I use ammonium sulfate, and like maybe every 2 months I'll add some new soil to it. Just some inexpensive soil, or maybe I might get like a Miracle Grow at Costco that's not that expensive for a big bag. And I'll kind of add like a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and that helps to feed it. But I usually use Miracle Grow on this stuff like once every week to every 2 weeks. Maybe like 3-4 times a month. I'll use Miracle Grow through the hose where you put a container on there, and makes a huge difference. The more you use the Miracle Grow, the more it produces the flowers to produce the peppers and tomatoes and everything you grow. So I use this, and this just screws onto that. So it looks like that. So you fill this up with the oh, here it is, Miracle Grow. This is like a little over a half of a bag. It's a full bag on that, and I use like a half a bag each feeding. So I use like 1 to 1.5 bags a month on that, and you can get a good deal on those over at Costco. But got our overseeding in, got our winter grass. Now it's established, I'll water it like once a week, and that's all I need to water it, because it's in the 60s and 70s now, and it's dipping down into the low 40s. It's even going to get 38 this week. So that's the nice thing about the wintertime. I've watered that garden like every 3 days, and it's got more than enough moisture in it to keep everything growing nice. So, but we also have like a little lime tree out there. Got a tangerine that we haven't gotten any fruit. That's like the 3rd or 4th year it's in. And the lemons, we usually get a decent amount. But this year when I overseeded, I cut the water off for a month, and it kind of, all my lemons fell off. But usually I get like 100, 120 lemons off of that are just decent sized, 3-4 inch lemons on those, lengthwise. And we had a great harvest last year. We had to take some, my wife had to take some into her work and give them away to everybody. We had so many of them. So got pomegranates back there that we grow. We didn't, once again, when we cut the water off, kind of all the pomegranates fell off. So usually when I overseed, I kind of just cut it down to 1 inch on the grass, cut the water off for a week, and then I put the seed down in soil. And then, but this year I wanted to try and really get that Bermuda to go dormant. And I see when I do it like that, I end up losing all my fruit, and lemon, citrus. So I'm not going to do that again. But there it is. Pretty much got the farm going in Levine, and southwest corner of Phoenix, and just beautiful out right now. Just gorgeous. Anyways, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hope you have a truly wonderful and extremely blessed day.